The Office of the Solicitor General has filed a petition to cancel the birth certificate of suspended Bamban-Tarlac Mayor Alice Guo. Solicitor General Menardo Guevara says they sought to cancel Guo's birth certificate on the ground, among others, of failure to comply with the legal requirements for late registration. During a recent Senate hearing, the Philippine Statistics Authority said Guo's late birth registration was applied on November 22, 2005, when she was already a teenager. The National Bureau of Investigation earlier found that Mayor Guo's fingerprints matched with Chinese woman Guo Huaping. Guo Huaping, who hails from Fujian, China, was born on August 31, 1990, while Mayor Alice Guo, who hails from Tarlac, was born on July 12, 1986. Mayor Guo has been under scrutiny for her alleged ties with the illegal operations of a Philippine offshore gaming operator hub in her town. Guevara says the petition for cancellation of Guo's birth certificate will lay the groundwork for the subsequent filing of a petition for quo warranto. Under the rules of court, a quo warranto petition is an action taken against a person who usurps, intrudes into, or unlawfully holds or exercises a public office, position, or franchise. President Bongbong Marcos says several changes in the K-12 curriculum of the Department of Education are being considered to improve the employability of senior high school graduates. According to Marcos, the K-12 curriculum failed to increase the employability of senior high school graduates when it was the ultimate goal for its implementation. Marcos says he and incoming Education Secretary Sona had talked about implementing some changes to the current K-12 curriculum shortly after the palace announced the senator's designation to the cabinet post. Among these changes were the possible introduction of mini courses spanning from 3 months to a year to allow senior high school graduates to specialize in specific areas in a bid to attract employers. Marcos also says the government intends to coordinate with the private sector to determine and guarantee the supply of skilled workers needed in their respective industries. The president likewise discloses that the DepEd is aiming to improve the quality of STEM subjects based on the results of international objective tests, which showed that the Philippines is lagging behind. Marcos further reveals that he emphasized to Angara the importance of teachers' welfare to allow them to concentrate on actual teaching, as well as the need for them to be retrained due to the rapid development of technology. Angara was a co-author for Public Act No. 10533, or the Enhanced Basic Education Act, which mandated the K-12 curriculum. The Philippines' headline inflation slowed by 3.7% in June, the lowest in 4 months. Preliminary data from the Philippine Statistics Authority show the Consumer Price Index grew by 3.7% year-on-year in June, easing from 3.9% in May. Inflation in June 2024 is also slower than 5.4% in the same period last year. According to the PSA, the latest readout is caused by slow increases in housing, water, electricity, gas, and other fuels and transport items. The inflation print in June marks the slowest growth since the 3.4% logged in February. This also marks the 7th straight month that inflation settled within the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas' 2 to 4% target range for the year. The Alliance of Health Workers is questioning the timing of President Bongbong Marcos' directive to fully release the unpaid COVID-19 health emergency allowance for health workers. Alliance of Health Workers National President Robert Mendoza points out that the release of benefits perfectly aligns with the upcoming State of the Nation address, where the President will outline his accomplishments. Based on their last dialogue with Budget Secretary Amena Pangandaman on April 11, Mendoza says the Department of Health had not complied with the final list and mapping of paid and unpaid health workers. With this, Mendoza hopes that all health workers in private and local government unit hospitals and health facilities will be paid their health emergency allowance. According to Alliance of Health Workers Secretary General Christy Donguines, with the delayed release of COVID-19 benefits, some health workers have already died without receiving the allowance. Nevertheless, Mendoza believes the release of health emergency allowance is a significant victory for health workers who served the country during the COVID-19 pandemic. According to Mendoza, health workers will join the People's Sona on July 22 to convey their demands to the Marcos administration. The remaining 27 billion peso COVID-19 health emergency allowances for eligible healthcare workers were released on Friday, July 5. Former Senator Ping Lacson says he is saddened by the quarrel of two incumbent senators over the new Senate building in Taguig City. In a statement, Laxon says it was the correct call to conduct an inquiry into the cost of the new Senate building as it involves public funds. However, according to Laxon, the ensuing exchange between Senators Alan Peter Cayetano and Nancy Binay was painful to watch. Cayetano and Binay traded barbs on Wednesday, July 3, as the Senate Committee on Accounts began its review of the new Senate building's cost. Both Laxon and Binay previously chaired the committee. The panel is currently headed by Cayetano following a change in Senate leadership in May. When he was head of the committee, Laxon says he envisioned the new Senate home to be world-class and iconic. But he is now saddened that it is now perceived as another symbol of government abuse of public funds. Senate President Chis Escudero ordered the review of the project after learning that the budget for its construction has already ballooned to 23 billion pesos from the original 8.9 billion pesos. Escudero requested a meeting with Laxon and former Senate President Tito Soto to discuss his plan to review the project. After that meeting, Laxon says he contacted Cayetano and suggested getting a briefing first from the Senate coordination team about the status and other details of the project. Laxon says he also suggested that Cayetano and Binay should meet and talk about some possible issues pertaining to the ongoing construction.